I am curious. I found this right-wing YouTuber who is doing something on the war just to get a piece of what he's doing. If you can see under this highly tasteful ad that YouTube has served me. By the way, I have no data in YouTube, so this is just apparently one of their default ads. But uh, right wingers are just relishing the fact that we're going to kill more people in Iran. They don't care about human life. They hate human life. They hate you. They hate the fact that or they love the fact that you have to pay $7 for gas and your groceries are twice as expensive as they have been. So let's go ahead and hear from one of them.
I hope you guys are doing great wherever you're watching from today. I'm filming this on
We're not doing great. Fuck you.
June 21st. All information is up to date as of June 21st, and President Trump, for the first time in several days, indicating and hinting that the bombing of Iran might resume soon following the Strait of Hormuz being closed down yet again. While Trump is making these threats, the negotiations are underway in Switzerland. So we have a lot.
So one thing about this dishonest framing is why were the straits closed again? The straits were closed again because Israel refused to get out of Lebanon, which was one of the contingencies of the MOU. Iran, through every step of this, has been following the MOU. And yet, he's framing it like they broke the MOU. No, our allies broke the MOU that we wrote.
To get into, we have a lot to cover. A lot happened overnight. Before we get into it, as always, please make sure to like and subscribe. Totally free. Cost you guys absolutely nothing at all. Huge boost to the channel. Let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. Do you
And we'll get to the comments in just a minute here. I've checked out a few of those.
want to see us bomb Iran again? Do you want to see us do whatever is necessary to open the strait? Or do you think the war is over? Let me know in the comments below.
Whatever is necessary to open the strait. Dude, it was open before this war started. Like, what are we even saying, dude? We had everything they're asking for in the JCPOA before Trump took office, before he screwed all this stuff up. It's like coming in and like on my rug, and then you clean stuff up and you kind of smear it everywhere, and then you go, yeah, but I got the and it's like, yeah, okay, maybe clean the rest of it up because you already screwed everything else up. You could have just not in my room in the first place.
Hit the notification bell. All notifications turned on. You won't miss a thing. And then Instagram, David_Hookstead, XD Hookstead. That's where you can find me on social media. My DMs are wide open. Reach out with whatever you got. And a lot of you have been asking about my foot injury and how I'm doing. Let's get into it. So to lay the groundwork, as of today, the Strait of Hormuz remains closed. Saying here, according to vessel tracking data, the Strait of Hormuz appears to be...
What a surprise. We had an MOU to open the Strait of Hormuz. Our allies have broken the MOU. They closed the strait back down, which is their main negotiating thing that they've been doing and saying this entire time.
Observed after that time at approximately 1650, the tanker Starbound Explorer was turned around in Iranian waters before completing its transit and returned to the Persian Gulf. Around the same time, the container ship, the MSC Qingdao, which was exiting via the U.S. established shipping routes through Omani waters, reversed course back towards the Persian Gulf and turning around again, ultimately exiting the Strait of Hormuz. So remember, Strait of Hormuz was briefly shut down on Friday. Then it reopened. Then on Saturday, we made a video about this yesterday. The Iranians said, nope, now.
By the way, when he says it reopened, the Strait of Hormuz has had mines in it the entire time. The only people who can get through it are people who are led by Iran through the minefield so they don't blow up. No oil company is going to risk their multi-million dollar ship going through a mined area without an escort getting them through the mines, by the way. So when he says it was open, it's not like it just open, shut, open, shut, open, shut. Without Iran leading people through the minefield, nobody's getting through there safely without getting attacked. It just means they wouldn't openly attack you, but that doesn't mean that ships were going through without Iran's go-ahead, basically.
It's completely closed. Nobody's coming through. If you try to come through, we will blow your ships up. So the strait now has been closed for about 24-ish hours or so. And that leads me to this. We have a handful of comments from Trump. This comes from Fox News' Trey Yinks. President Trump told me on the United States could become the guardian of the Strait of Hormuz and take 20% of the oil. We may take over the strait if we have to, President Trump told Fox News. I'll blow, quote, the shit out of them. If they don't make a deal, we'll collect tolls. So
we're getting back to that same rhetoric we had before where Trump said, I'll blow you back to the Stone Age. I'll destroy your entire civilization. Things that are collective punishment. Saying he'll, bomb their entire nation and kill them all if they don't open his strait. The thing that he got closed in the first place by starting this war.
Trump saying
starting this war by blowing up the children's school.
He's going to blow them up again if they do not make a deal, if they do not open up the strait. The only option the United States has left is, of course, the military option. And then
no, the only option that Zionists will allow you to talk about is the military option. But we could cut off aid to Israel, cut them off as an ally, put a lot of pressure on them and say, you're going to accept this deal that both us and Iran have already done. They act like we're the weakest nation in the world. We are the strongest nation in the world, but we don't act like it because we're so cucked to Israel because of God knows what. Pictures they have of Trump or of top officials within our government, or just all that sweet, sweet AIPAC dollars that are flowing into our elections. I'm not sure. But the fact that he doesn't even bring this up as an option is insane, dude. You're not America first. You're Israel first.
Right here, Trump, furthermore, from Trey Yinks. Let's listen to Trey's comments here.
President Trump tells Fox News he spoke with Iranian officials overnight and said, you close it and you won't have a country. He went on to tell these officials, you won't even make it back to your effing country.
So the master negotiator directly threatens their lives. Great negotiating tactic. That won't cause anybody to stop negotiating with you.
Right there, President Trump saying if you close the strait, which it is currently closed, you won't have a country, and the people that are in Switzerland won't even make it back to Iran, thus indicating, I don't know if that means Trump is going to shoot down their plane. What that means?
The idea that he's going to kill them in a foreign country, he's going to kill them in Switzerland too, would break every, UN treaty, every international treaty. We've already thrown away all of our allies for one ally, which is Israel, for some goddamn reason. But he decided that, he wants to threaten an international incident just, because that helps the negotiation so much.
Obviously, we're not going to bomb them while they're in Switzerland with our own people.
That is directly what he's saying. These people are so delusional, dude. Look at what he actually said. You won't make it back to your country. He's saying he's going to kill them before they get to Iran. What, he's going to kill them in Switzerland? Or what, he's going to shoot down their plane right after it leaves Switzerland? I'm sure they'll love that when they intentionally brought them there to have peace talks. And I'm sure that will just lead to them wanting to do more peace talks with us if we kill their negotiators. A tactic preferred by Israel. If we watch, they kept killing Palestinian negotiators that would come to negotiate ceasefires because they don't want a ceasefire. They want greater Israel. Just like Germany before World War II, they want to expand. They want to take the Rhineland. They want to take Poland. They want to take France. They just want to expand and expand and expand because they're a fascist state.
But Trump threatening that if the Strait of Hormuz is not opened, the negotiation team that is currently in Switzerland will not make it back to Iran. They will be taken out. Now, Trump also announcing this on Truth Social, saying there will be no tolls in the Hormuz Strait for 60 days during the ceasefire period, and there will be no tolls after the 60-day period has expired unless they are imposed by and for the United States of America should the deal not be completed for services rendered as the guardian angel to the countries of the Middle East for purposes of both past, present, and future reimbursements of cost.
This idea of us as the guardian angel is a classic old trope. We're coming in for these savages that, by the way, we overthrew the Iranians back in the 50s, I believe it was, during their revolution, and implemented a government that later failed and became the reason they have such a religious fervor in their country, because that was their alternative to essentially being their leader being chosen by a foreign country.
Thank you for your attention to this matter. So yet again, what's important to remember
gotta love the thank you for your attention to this matter. Oh God, dude. Some of his little idioms are so great.
here,
Funny.
guys, and I'm just telling it to you straight. The Strait of Hormuz, as of today, June 21st, and since yesterday, June 20th, is closed. It closed the morning of June 20th. It is not open. So we can say, well, there'll be no tolls, there'll be none of this. The fact of the matter is the Iranians have made it clear, if you attempt to go through the Strait of Hormuz, we will blow you up. So we are at a critically important moment right now as this continues. So Trump threatening more war. And then we have a Lebanon, and stick with me here because we're going to get into the negotiations shortly. There's a lot to get into. It says, according to Israeli news outlets, the recently announced cessation of Israeli Defense Force fires in Lebanon comes after immense pressure from the U.S. on Israel's principal decision makers. This comes amidst the workup for the next round of U.S., Qatar, Pakistan, Iran talks in Switzerland, where principal decision makers from the U.S. and Iran are expected to attend. We're going to get
Are expected to attend. No telling whether Iran's going to attend now because they left the last negotiation after we threatened to kill them.
into that next. So remember, the IDF has been attacking Lebanon, targeting Hezbollah strongholds, Hezbollah targets, whatever you want to call them. The first part of the MOU, the Memorandum of Understanding, was that Lebanon could not be attacked. That was in paragraph 1. So what is Israel doing here? They're attacking Hezbollah targets inside Lebanon. But at the same time, let's be crystal clear and honest, Israel is hoping and praying that Iran responds with ballistic missiles for the attacks in Lebanon. Why does Israel want that? They want that because then that would give them the green light to go back into Iran and bomb the loving, just hammer them. So that is the Israeli strategy, right, wrong, or indifferent. That is what is going on.
Yeah, because if it has to do with them, you can't say anything about the morality of it. You can't say anything about the morality of us bombing a children's school, of us bombing civilian infrastructure, and talking about how we bombed civilian infrastructure, not military infrastructure, like when we bombed the water reserves to dehydrate the people and starve them out, basically. We're not going to make any moral condemnations of Israel or of what the U.S. is doing, but whenever they talk about Iran, terrorists, awful people, a lot of moral judgment when it comes to what they're doing. No moral judgment when it comes to what we're doing.
President Trump.
When it comes to what we're doing, it's just a force of nature. It just happened. Who knows? Who knows how those bombs got there? It's so sick, dude.
Trump
so
right here.
Sick.
Iran must immediately stop their highly paid proxies in Lebanon from causing trouble. If they don't, we'll hit Iran very hard again.
Why doesn't he talk about stopping our highly paid proxies in Lebanon, the ones who invaded the country?
Just like we did last week, only harder. So now...
Yeah, this is exactly the passive voice that I'm talking about. They say Iran has to stop their proxies. Iran has the agency in this, not the U.S. has to stop their proxies, the proxies who started the war in Lebanon.
Trump is saying if Hezbollah keeps it up, the United States is going to attack Iran again. So several different threats from President Donald Trump today targeting Iran. And then right here, to tell you how well these negotiations are going, Iranian president says Tehran will not relinquish its right to enrich uranium. I believe it's pronounced Pezhikian. I always butcher it. What is certain is that we will never give up our right to enrich uranium, and the other side will have no choice but to accept it. Again, I've said since day one that the Iranians absolutely will not ever give up their enriched uranium. They will not give up their nuke program. They will continue to enrich uranium. And anyone who thinks differently has not paid attention.
Dude, they gave up the right to the nuclear program when they were in the JCPOA. They have already done that once. What do you mean they'll never do it? They did it once when they had a good deal with us. Now they don't trust us because how could they? Because look at what we're doing. Of course they're not going to make a deal to do it now because they look at us and what's happened with the JCPOA and how we ripped up that deal and we're their country. And then they look over at North Korea and see how we haven't touched them in years because they have a nuke. Why wouldn't they? It's in their best interest to do it.
to history because the Iranians always do this. They always get to the negotiating table and then they never follow through.
Are we for real right now, dude? Are we this stupid? They get to the negotiating table. We literally signed a negotiation and our partners broke it within less than 24 hours. And this is like the third or fourth time that we've done this within the last like 2 weeks. So just crazy, dude.
On their promises. That is what history has told us time and time again. So they're absolutely not going to give up their uranium. Now, for negotiations, Vice President J.D. Vance here.
Sorry. Daisy, no. No. Daisy. Daisy. Stop.
For negotiations, Vice President J.D. Vance here. This was him leaving for Switzerland.
Daisy. Daisy, come here. Up here. Up here. Good girl. Who's a good girl? Who's a good girl? Stop growling. Hey. Oh, yeah. You want to come over? All right. Well, we got Daisy now.
So negotiations are underway. This is Holoboff. He's got the school that was hit where 168 people is painted on the plane. Again, that's a whole different subject. But it says the Iranian delegation is now also in.
Not going to talk about that. Minab 164, huh?
Switzerland. And then, according to a release from the Pakistani Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Pakistan Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif.
By the way, what it's talking about is the number of people killed in that attack on the civilian girls' school at the beginning of the war that we double tapped with our military intentionally. There are records showing that they greenlit and in Signal chat wrote fire emojis when they talked about double tapping what they knew to be civilian infrastructure, an all-girls school.
And Pakistan's chief decision maker, Field Marshal Osman Munir.
But you won't get that from right-wing media.
Have now left for Switzerland for U.S.-Iran talks. Per the release, the prime minister is set to hold talks on the sidelines of wider negotiations with each participating partner. Again, I don't know why the Pakistanis are even involved in this. The Pakistanis have not been good allies. They are the country that housed bin Laden. Their intelligence services knew he was there. They work closely with the Haqqani network, the Taliban. The Pakistanis cannot be trusted. I mean,
I don't know why you think that our intelligence agencies can be trusted. We knowingly lied to get into the Iraq war. We knew they didn't have yellow cake. We knew that the terrorist organization that hit the World Trade Center was from Saudi Arabia based, and yet they've been our allies this entire time. We haven't touched them. So I don't know why you think that, our intelligence agencies are so uncorruptible here.
Not believe they're actually involved. And then furthermore, it says, according to a release from the Qatari Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the quadrilateral talks between the U.S., Qatar, Pakistan, and Iran have begun. So negotiations are underway. Per the release, separate technical groups have been formed to coordinate and discuss key facets of the U.S.-Iran MOU and will be working to help both sides achieve convergence on key points of contention. So negotiations are underway. Furthermore, this is J.D. Vance meeting with the Pakistanis, with Witkoff and Kushner. And then here are the Pakistanis meeting with Holoboff and Abbas Araghchi, who is their foreign minister of Iran. So negotiations continue. And then it says, according to Axios, citing a diplomat with knowledge on the matter, the U.S. delegation led by U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance has met with their Iranian counterparts in Switzerland. The meeting was mediated by Qatar. Additionally, Pakistan's prime minister announced that Iran has agreed to reduce the enrichment levels of highly enriched materials, the highly enriched uranium. However, as noted by NTI's Eric Brewer, such a framework was already agreed to in the MOU as the minimum. Sorry, I'm butchering words today.
I can't blame him too much. I trip over words when I have to read this much publicly too. Minimum methodology. God, dude, I did it too.
To dispose of the material. So again, now they're saying they're going to give it up or down blend it. I don't believe any of that. We have no reason to believe.
Don't have any reason to believe it except that that's what they've already done to fuel their energy, which is nuclear.
That at all. And then lastly, we have some comments from J.D. Vance right here. Let's
his Field Marshal in Pakistan, Asim Munir. I will say that since Field Marshal Munir welcomed us with the Prime Minister in Islamabad, I have joked that I have two very, very important people in my life, an Indian and a Pakistani. The Indian is my wife, and the Pakistani is Field Marshal Munir. And I've probably talked to Field Marshal Munir more than I've talked to anybody else over the last 3 months. Would not be here without his statesmanship. He is, of course, a great military leader, but I think he's shown himself to be a great diplomat. And, of course,
So that is J.D. Vance right there praising the Pakistanis during negotiations. So as of me filming this on June 21st, President Trump vowing to restart the war, threatening to bomb it at a very, very high level of Iran if the Strait of Hormuz does not come open. It appears that the Strait of Hormuz is not going to come open, which means the United States essentially has to escalate. And while this is happening, negotiations remain underway. So that is the update we have as of June 21st. As always, guys, let me know.
This guy is just a fear monger. I mean, you can see all his videos have to do with this state or that state getting nukes. Let's drop in the comments, see how nice these are. Kick butt time. I knew Iran wasn't going by this crap. Wouldn't go by this crap. So like they're just all, wars are won when one side surrenders unconditionally. That's what the MOU was, by the way, is a big surrender by the U.S. So we shouldn't have stopped bombing in the first place. I don't think this person understands that if we kept bombing the Kharg Island, that we would have destroyed the oil infrastructure that we're trying to get back. Essentially, the main thing that we want to get back in this war. Remove the threat. By the way, these people think the threat is all of Iran. So he's saying nuke a country of 93 million people, a third the population of the U.S. He says just kill all them. Because if we kill their leadership, they're so dispersed, they're going to keep getting more leaders. They're going to make more people that are even more mad at the U.S. Their current leader is, the son of the Ayatollah that we killed. So, yeah, you can't negotiate with liars. The irony in them saying this about Trump, who has lied at every step of the negotiation, including to the U.S. public about what's been going on with this, is just insane to me. But I don't know, dude. I'm getting stun locked. I gotta stop. I've been going too long on this one.
Thank you so much for watching my video. It'd be great if you could leave me a like, subscribe, maybe a comment, and you should be seeing a video pop up anywhere on screen right now that you can click on to get some more content. Thank you again. Have a great day.